U.S. actions against Puerto Rico 1898. Invasion and colonization. July 25, 1898. U.S. invades Puerto Rico during the Spanish-American War without Puerto Rican consent. December 10, 1898. Treaty of Paris signed between U.S. and Spain. Spain cedes Puerto Rico to the U.S. without any Puerto Rican representation. 1900. Foraker Act. Establishes a colonial government controlled by U.S. officials. U.S. President appoints the governor and top leaders. Puerto Ricans are denied U.S. citizenship and full self-governance. 1917. Jones Act imposes U.S. citizenship on Puerto Ricans without a vote. Subjects Puerto Ricans to the military draft for World War I. Establishes the Jones Shipping Act, requiring Puerto Rico to use U.S. ships for trade, raising prices and hurting the economy. 1930s. Economic and political repression. U.S. control of sugar plantations leads to mass land dispossession. 1937. Ponce Massacre. U.S. appointed governor orders police to open fire on peaceful nationalist marchers. 19 dead. 200 wounded. Nationalist leaders like Pedro Albizu Campos are jailed and tortured for advocating independence. 1940s, 1950s. Military abuse and cultural repression. U.S. Navy occupies VX and Culebra, displacing thousands and using land for bombing practice for decades. 1948. Law 53 makes it illegal to speak about independence, display the Puerto Rican flag, or sing patriotic songs, punishable by prison. FBI and local police surveil and harass pro-independence Puerto Ricans. 1952. Creation of Commonwealth status. United States labels Puerto Rico and Commonwealth, but keeps all real power in Congress. Puerto Rico remains a U.S. territory without voting rights in federal elections and no full representation in Congress. 1950s, 1990s. Human experimentation and neglect. Forced sterilizations. Up to one-third of Puerto Rican women sterilized, often without informed consent. Puerto Rico becomes a testing ground for birth control pills and other pharmaceuticals. VX used as a bombing range by the U.S. Navy until 2003, leaving toxic contamination and high cancer rates. 1970s, 1990s. FBI and political persecution. The FBI continues COINTELPRO-style operations to infiltrate and destabilize Puerto Rican independence movements. Leaders like Filiberto Ojeda are targeted and ultimately killed in controversial FBI raids. 1996. End of Section 936. Tax incentives. United States Congress eliminates corporate tax breaks that attracted businesses to Puerto Rico, leading to massive job losses and economic collapse. 2000s. Crisis deepens. 2006. Puerto Rico enters a deep recession. 2009. Over 30,000 public employees fired under U.S.-backed austerity. 2010s. Mass migration to the U.S. due to economic collapse, hospital closures, and school shutdowns. 2016 to PROMESA and Fiscal Control Board. U.S. Congress passes PROMESA law, creating an unelected Fiscal Control Board that overrides Puerto Rico's government. Board imposes austerity, closes schools, cuts pensions, and pays Wall Street bondholders while the population suffers. Ardeniti Hurricane. U.S. government responds slowly and inadequately. Nearly 3,000 deaths, yet Trump throws paper towels and claims success. Puerto Rico's fragile infrastructure collapses, months without electricity or clean water. 2020's continued disenfranchisement. No voting rights in presidential elections, no binding referendums. All political status votes are non-binding and ignored by Congress. 2022 to 2023 U.S. Supreme Court rules Puerto Ricans can be excluded from certain federal programs like SSI. Ongoing issues over 40% poverty rate, the highest of any U.S. jurisdiction. Colonial status still in place after 125-plus years. Puerto Ricans remain second-class citizens used for military recruitment, pharmaceutical trials, and economic extraction. The verdict: Puerto Rico has been colonized without consent, politically silenced, militarized and displaced, economically exploited, deprived of representation and dignity. And still today, Puerto Ricans cannot vote for the president, have no voting representation in Congress, and remain under laws written by others. Puerto Rico, open your eyes, subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to press notification button for upcoming content. See you soon.